Welcome everybody to the launch party of Voices for Impact, a book project that probably was inseminated last summer when I got an unexpected email from Laura. Never heard from her, don't know who she is, but there was something about her that made me open the email. And that is how the creation of the book, The Voices for Impact, came along. This actually the courage to show up, to speak up, and to take action and build connection with the community. So I have today my beautiful host, Jada, who is one of the youth co-authors all the way in the USA. I forgot which state she is from. But
Michigan.
Jada, which state?
Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. And Jada, let's kick it off by going straight to the point and highlight the key lessons from the authors.
Okay, so the book powerfully spotlights diverse voices, each author sharing a unique story that reflects how speaking your mind and telling your truth can be acts of deep empowerment from different backgrounds, cultures, and life experiences. Every writer brings a perspective that not only sheds light on personal struggles, but also celebrates resilience.
Great job, Jada. So you want to go ahead and ask the first author about their key lesson. And remember, everybody, the book Voices for Impact is out on Amazon now for $1.99, $1.99 on a special launch price. Go grab it today if you haven't had the opportunity to do so. And it's going to help fund mentorship program for girls around the world. So Jada, do you want to bring on the first author for the question?
Yes, ma'am. Mira, can you hear me? I'm going to ask you the
Yes.
question first. Okay, what is the number one lesson you've learned about unapologetically sharing your voice?
Um, the number one lesson is we are powerful beings. And even though it may seem unlikely at times, we have great ability to create a better situation around ourselves, for ourselves, and for others. So, my tip to use your voice effectively is commandeer your situation, take ownership of it, speak your truth, and just remember we have the ability to change our situation through our thoughts and then through our words and our voice.
That was
Thank you.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. And
No,
congratulations to everyone on this project. I'm really honored to share this platform with all of you.
thank you so much, Mira. Okay, I'll ask the question to Miss Janine. Can you hear me?
It doesn't look like Janine made
Janine.
it, but maybe ask it to Jenny since she's here.
Okay. Jenny, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
What is the number one lesson you've learned about unapologetically sharing your voice?
I think the number one lesson that I've learned is how when you do have the courage to share your voice, you actually give others permission to do the same who might be waiting or feel like they're the only ones that haven't shared something they want to share. And it just gives everybody else permission to do that as well.
That's amazing too. Y'all have great responses so far. Anu, are you here today?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. What is the number one lesson you've learned about unapologetically sharing your voice?
So actually there's a few lessons. I feel like, speaking up is so important. And that's something as girls we tend to shy and, back off on so many things. So for me, it's all about be courageous, be curious, take risks and keep learning. So, don't get stuck on one idea. Like always explore and go out and learn more before you find your niche.
Great answer as well.
Brilliant. And Jada, we've come a theme, right? To speak up, to be curious, to be brave, to be unstoppable, because sometimes we want to say something that we're usually pull ourselves back. So just as a reminder, like you can find out more about the author stories in the book, Voices for Impact, the stories, the key lessons, the highlights, the tips. So make sure you grab a copy of the book today only for a special launch price, $1.99 for the Kindle version. And your support is going to have fun, incredible mentorship program for girls around the world. So now we are going to transition to Crystal, who is from Global Girls Glow, and she is going to share her mission moment.
Thank you, Dr. Jamil, and thank you, Jada. I'm really, really excited today. It's so great to see all of these amazing authors in one place. It would be complete if every single author was here, but we are so, so delighted to just dive into what everyone who's here today has to share about the incredible stories that they told. When Dr. Jamil brought this project to us, and she did bring it. She suggested it, and we said, "Oh, that's a great idea." I don't think Dr. Jamil knew exactly what she was getting herself into when she agreed to herd all of our cats in one place. But we're so, 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 so proud of just this incredible product that we built together with Dr. Jamil's help. When I think about Global Girls Glow and all that we're doing in the world, for those of you who don't know, we work in 30 countries around the world, including here in the United States, like in Detroit, where Jada is from, as well as a few other states. And the thing that I hear over and over again, my favorite question to ask of our local mentors and local leaders is, tell me about a girl who inspires you. And the thing that I hear from them the world over is, there's this one young girl, and when she first started at Glow Club, she sat in the back and she was quiet and didn't really have a lot to say, but the more and more that she was here, a part of the club, the more she started to speak up and use her voice. And now she's the loudest one in the room, and we can't wait to hear what she has to say every time she's with us. And I think this book is such a reflection of that in every way, right? All of the amazing authors who contributed their own stories about bravely using their voice or making choices that there was a conflict about, but ultimately, following their own intuition and heart to get there. Maybe this is a terrible thing to say on this call, but I have to just say the youth stories are my favorite. But I love all of the stories, obviously. But Jada's story, Huang's story, Inulua's story, they're just so profound and powerful. So I hope that all of you just take a moment and read all of the stories. They're wonderful. But especially lean into our powerful, amazing youth who are a part of this book too. The last thing that I'll say is just give you guys just a really brief, I'm not going to spend too much time on mission because this is it. This is it. This is the embodiment of our mission, this type of project, and all of the incredible voices that contributed to it. But I will, just for the sake of those of you who may not know too much about Global Girls Glow, I'll just tell you just briefly about what we do. So we have been igniting the power of girls to advocate for a better world since 2012, when Skylar, who's also on this call and contributor to this book, founded this organization. We are an organization that mentors girls around the world to become powerful advocates and confident leaders, much like Jada. Our signature program, Glow Club, has ignited the power of over 91,000 girls to do 3 transformative things: increase their confidence, strengthen their voice, and build their power. So when I say that this book is really a compilation of who we are and what we do and what we're about, it's written in the stars, and written in our mission, and written in who we are. Like I said, we currently operate in 30 countries worldwide, including here in the United States. And the impact of our programs, the projects that the girls do, the ways that they speak up and are influencing the world, allows us to impact over 2 million people around the world every year. through all of our efforts, we're really just empowering communities to recognize the incredible strength and potential that girls have to lead the world. So thank you for tuning in, for being a part of this, for buying the book, for joining us. We can do so much more when other people are here to listen to and be a part of girls' lives and stories and advocacy and everything else that they bring to the table. So I'll turn it back over now to oh no, that's not you. I'm introducing a video. We have a wonderful video that we're going to show you from one of our other youth authors, Inioluwa. She's incredible. She's from Nigeria, and she has a really, really powerful story in this book, which really displays just the incredible empathy and power girls can have when they use their voice and when they come together within their community to advocate on behalf of someone else. So I hope you will take a few minutes and read that story today. I'm sure that it will make your day. And in the meantime, here's her video.
Hi, I'm Inolua Prize Agnele, a proud alumni of Global Glow Girls in Victor Girls Club, Kaduna, Nigeria. Through Glow Club, I've been able to discover my voice, find myself, and I've also learned to connect with my community. Under the mentorship of Mental Hope, my self-confidence and self-esteem have remarkably increased. I have also learned to advocate for what is right, even in the most little ways. In our anthology book, I wrote about my experience with a girl in my neighborhood who was denied the right of education. My experience with her made me realize the impact one voice can have on another person's life, and I've learned to never underestimate the power of my voice. I can't wait for you to read our anthology book. I'm looking forward to reading it. So mark your calendars for April 17th, the launch of our anthology book. Bye.
That is so cool. Never underestimate the power of your own voice. And this is what really connects me to Global Girls Glow because of the heart-based commitment to share young girls' voices. Because I have a daughter as well, Nadra, who just turned 11. And I imagine the world where she can be unapologetic. She can bravely share her voices without prejudice. So that's what's connected me to Global Girls Glow. And then proposing the book. And when I even was proposing, I'm like, oh my God, should I do it? I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I should do it. Who am I to kind of propose it? Despite doing anthology book for years, but having that courage to always step up, even when you have those voices saying things to you, it is the most impactful thing that you can do, not just for yourself, but for girls like Huong, for girls like Jada, for even Crystal wrote a chapter in there as well. So for so many people to have to take that leap of courage. And as my friend Laura Clancy says in her song, up yours, up your standards, up your vision. So thank you so much for that, Crystal. What a wonderful thing. And which reminds me, I wanted to highlight Jada's story as well and Jada's vision of what's possible when girls share their voices, because she is in the book, she is one of the co-authors as well. So Jada, before we move on to the question for the next author, can you just share a quick tip for young girls to be an advocate for themselves with their voices?
Yes, of course. I think that it would be like kind of crazy for me to come on here and just be like, oh yeah, just be confident. Like that's not something that just comes easy. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of conversation with yourself. I know it might sound crazy, but I've had to talk to myself, like literally verbally speak to myself and just like help myself go through things because I mean, especially as youth, especially as like a Black youth, I experienced a lot of things. So just be real with yourself. I would just say that's the main thing. I'm sorry. And honest with yourself and just know that despite what you go through, it's okay. People go through things, but you have to make it through and to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Brilliant. And being honest with yourself is often the hardest thing because it's easier to point the fingers outside, but being honest to yourself is such a powerful reminder. And one of the things I really love about Jada, I've met her a couple of times, that she is not afraid to ask questions, either to get clarity, to help people, to advocate. So great job, Jada, in asking questions if you're not sure about things or wanted clarity or how you can support things. And Jada's story is in the book, Voices for Impact. So make sure you grab a copy. on Amazon for the Kindle version is out for $1.99. So Jada, you ready to ask the second question and spotlight the authors?
Of course. Gerardo, can you hear me? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I apologize if I'm
You're
not.
saying it wonderfully. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I can hear you
no
perfectly.
problem. Okay, so what is what is the highlight from your chapter that you hope really sticks with readers?
Well, first off, I want to say that I am deeply honored to be here with you, Jada, with all of the wonderful women in this room. Kylie, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. What a great project, and I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about your beautiful foundation. I'm so proud of you, Laura, Crystal, all of the team from Global Girls Glow. Thank you so much for what you do. I really want to keep it very simple. Men benefit from gender equality. Young men benefit from gender equality. Boys benefit from gender equality. This is not only a moral issue. This is not only about having a mother, a sister, an aunt, a grandmother, a teacher that you like. This is about thinking about yourself. As men, young men, and boys, we need to live in a society where we are able to fulfill our full potential. And if we ourselves are limiting half of the team to sit on the bench only, that unfortunately is going to affect not only women, not only girls, not only young women, but all of us. So I really want to push everyone to reflect. One thing is to read the book, which is great. But most importantly, I want you to reflect, to internalize the lessons that you are finding out in this book, to join a Global Girls Glow Club, even if you're a boy or a girl, because that means that you stand up for gender equality. And $1.99 for all of the information that you're getting today is an unbelievable price. So please, everyone, go out and get it. And most importantly, remember that every $1.99 that you are putting in today is going towards the most beautiful cause that I have ever found in my life. So thank you so much for making me a part of it.
No problem, and thank you for such a beautiful response. Okay, I'm going to ask the question now to Mamta. Can you hear me?
Hey, Jada, I can hear you.
Okay, what is the highlight from your chapter that you hope really sticks with readers?
Thanks for asking that question, Jada. I'm really glad to be here with you and everyone and be a part of this project. I would say there's probably two things that I would highlight from my chapter. The first thing is the juxtaposition between two people that I've highlighted in my story. One is my mom and one is my daughter. One of them grew up hearing messages of you cannot, and one of them grew up hearing messages you can. And the impact that those early messages can have on the rest of your life. So my mom is the person who grew up hearing you can't. And in the story that I share, there is a pretty mundane, everyday type of situation that caused my mom to become triggered and escalated. My daughter was with her and really helped bring my mom back down to baseline through being calm and poised and confident. And my daughter doesn't know any different. So when I'm telling her that I'm proud of her and so encouraged to see her confidence, she kind of looks at me with a funny face because she doesn't know that's not normal. But for my mom in that moment, when they were having this exchange, it really did help bring my mom back down. It really did help bring my mom regain some control over the anxiety and stress that she was feeling. So the first thing is the impact that messages of you can from early on, the impact that can have throughout someone's life. The second thing is that sharing and confidence and influence can be bi-directional. It doesn't, we typically think that this is a one-way direction, that somebody who's older can really impact somebody who's younger. And in my story, I highlight how somebody who was much younger was able to restore some confidence in somebody who was, decades older than her. So, using your voice for influence and power, regardless of your age, would be the other thing that I would highlight.
Amazing response. I can definitely resonate with your daughter. I feel like for my mom, she definitely pours things into me, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, but like I don't get it. Like, why are you doing like I feel like the utmost? But like hearing what you said, I totally understand her perspective now. I'm going to now ask the question to Laura. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. What is the highlight from your chapter that you hope really sticks with readers?
I talk a lot in my chapter about trusting your instinct and really being able to be vulnerable and listen to your gut. Um, I shared the story of picking a college and having thought I wanted to go a certain direction, had worked my whole high school career to get there. And then when I got there, my gut was like, I don't want to be here. This is not what I want to do. And having the courage to speak up and really trust my gut, even though I was younger at the time, it really led me to some great relationships, great choices, and a path where I've continued to trust my instinct. And even when that's maybe controversial or not the popular choice, being true to myself and really standing up for what I know in my heart and in my gut I really want to do. It's always the right thing to do.
Amazing response as well.
Thank you so much. And what's really cool about the book is just, the really everyday, but personable, vulnerable, inspiring stories that you can read that just hopefully will give you some hope and ideas on how you can share your voice with courage, with clarity and compassion. And this is not just one of those feel-good book, great stories, but we do have tangible, actionable tips that you can use and take away. And if you look at the end of the book, there is a bonus chapter that tells you the tips on how you can share your voice with courage and clarity. So it's a feel-good book, it's a great pick-me-up, but it's also actionable things that you can do. So make sure you grab a copy from Amazon for $1.99. So Jada, next I believe we are going to have the lady whose vision actually causes who we are today to be here, the projects, the voices. And this lady loves playing with dirt and digging when she was younger. And that's all that she wanted to do. But she was told, don't do that. This is not ladylike. Or, you can't have all these negative emotions. You can't feel all those things. But because of all those instances in her life, she created something incredible that transcends time for years, that transcends community, cultures. So I wanted to bring about and spotlight Kylie. And thank you, Kylie, for all that you do.
Dr. Jamil, thank you so much. I am so grateful to you and to everyone here who's contributed to this amazing project. It just fills my heart with joy, honestly. And it does, as Crystal said, embody everything that Global Girls Glow stands for and promotes in the world with girls around the world. This book is a piece of it's a treasure. It's a treasure. So yes, my story was about emotional courage. And I just want to echo what Jada said. Be real with yourself. And that is really what my story was about. To be real with myself enough to have the courage to speak up. Because as someone said here, you can't just snap your fingers and have it be, oh, now I'm confident. You have to actually practice. You have to work at it. So having emotional courage to tell your story, to be brave, and have someone who will listen to that and then practice and persevere, that's how you build that the courage to tell your story broadly and widely and change the world with it. So I am always inspired by the girls that we have come to know really well around the world in the 30 countries that we work in. And those girls become so strong with their voices. They do change the world with their stories. And it's enabled me to be more bold in telling my own story and accept those tiny voices that say I'm not good enough. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't do that. I push through when I remember people, girls like Jada, when I remember girls like Huang and the others that tell their stories so bravely in the Glow clubs around the world.
Wonderful. And Kylie, I believe that you will be sharing a video of Huang, that she has a special message for us.
Let me tell you first.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
could I tell
yes,
you
go
first
ahead,
about her? Okay. So we 15 people went to Vietnam with Global Girls Glow recently, this month actually. Stakeholders, donors, others, and we together we were able to meet Huang in person. So I wanted to say a few words about her before you enjoyed her video. Her story was a very brave and personal story, and I hope you'll read it in her chapter. Her message really was very clear. It was to share your story with someone you trust because your voice has the power to change lives. And that is what Huang has done. She has shared her story about violence in her home with others and helped them overcome similar problems and issues and challenges. She is very clear in her chapter. Actually, it's one of the most clear chapters I think that exists in the book. It's listen to yourself and determine what is it that I truly want so you can get clarity about your values. And then dare to speak up and express exactly what your opinion is. And it is a dare often. And for a young girl like Huang in Vietnam, that is not encouraged in Vietnam. And the Glow Club there enabled her to strengthen her voice and become more powerful to express her opinions. And then, and this is really important for everyone, to practice and persevere. That practice that is necessary to strengthen your voice. Practice and listen and practice and listen. Huang is very clear about that too. So when we were with her in Vietnam, we got to experience that strong girl who, and I think she's 14 or 13. She's so young, and she inspired us all to strengthen our own voices to change the world with our own stories. So here, please enjoy Huang's video.
Xin chào, em tên là Nguyễn Thị Quỳnh Hương, năm nay em 16 tuổi và là một thành viên của câu lạc bộ Glow và cũng là một tác giả trẻ đến từ Việt Nam. Tham gia tại câu lạc bộ Glow đối với em là một trải nghiệm rất là tuyệt vời. Có quá nhiều điều em học được tại đây nhưng không thể kể hết được. Nhưng mà điều em tâm đắc nhất chính là Glow đã chữa lành những vết thương từ trong quá khứ của em. Và qua quá trình học tập tại đây thì Glow đã phá bỏ đi lớp vỏ mặt bên ngoài của em để con người thật của em được lộ diện. Một cuốn sách là một bước đi gần hơn tới sự bình đẳng. Hãy cùng mình ủng hộ cuốn sách này để những tiếng nói của phụ nữ và trẻ em gái không còn bị lạc quê. Và đừng chỉ là người đọc, hãy là người tham gia và tạo ra sự thay đổi.
Oh, that is so cute. Don't just read the book, but be part of the transformation. And Kylie and Huang is spot on in saying that courage and bravery takes practice. Courage and bravery takes practice. It just doesn't like, ta-da, here I am kind of thing. It all takes a lot of practice and effort and failures and showing up and failures and crying and then showing up again. And I just wanted to highlight here that we have Samantha who says, trust your instinct. Thank you so much, Laura. And we have Lisa who says, we love you, Kylie. We love you, Kylie. So that is Amazing. And we have Gerardo who said gracias, Laura and Kylie. And we have here Adrienne who said her story was very powerful. And Mukonyo, oh gosh, please forgive me if I butchered your name, but I'm trying my best. Mukonyo says, share your story with someone you trust. Absolutely. You really want to have someone who's your go-to person, who is your trusted advisor that you can share whatever that your heart is feeling and then see how you can heal. One of the things that Huang mentioned is shedding her shell and then healing from that process. So thank you so much, Kylie. Thank you so much, Huang. And Jada, do you want to spotlight with the final question that we can ask the authors?
Of course. So I'm going to ask this question to Kylie. Can you hear me, Kylie?
I can, Jada.
Okay. What is the biggest step someone can take to make their voice heard?
For me, the biggest action step, I call it, for anyone to take is to first believe that their story and their voice is worthy of being heard. I think that's the biggest first step. That's certainly the biggest first step for me. I believe that everything starts with that inner knowing that your story, your truth, and your ideas actually truly matter. And we've been talking about this concept of confidence all through this launch. So I think that that's definitely one of the biggest action steps, because often as girls and women, we're conditioned to shrink ourselves, to stay silent, to wait for people to believe in us, but also wait for permission to use our voices. But I believe that the real impact begins that moment when we stop asking permission, when we regain our confidence and our voice and we start speaking from a place of purpose. So to answer your question, Jada, the biggest step is own your story completely and unapologetically. I think that's a big thing for girls, is really unapologetically owning your voice and your story and using your voice even if it shakes. A lot of the time we do things that we're scared of, and I say, either feel the fear and do it anyway, or do it scared. So use your voice in rooms where decisions are made. Use it to advocate for yourself and for those who are underrepresented, those who are ignored, silenced, or those who can't speak yet, which is the next generation, right? So whether it's through writing or speaking, projects like this, voting, leading, or simply saying no when something doesn't feel right, your voice is your power. That would be my advice there.
That was so beautiful. Great reply. I'm going to ask this question also to Joy. I don't know if you're on here.
Yeah, Joy's not here. So
Okay.
what I'm going to
ask it to Laura. Is that okay?
Yes, we're gonna put it on to Laura.
Laura, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay. What is the biggest step someone can take to make their voice heard?
I think finding a community. Jenny talked about this earlier, right? Which is making sure that you share, because that gives permission to others, right? Who might be scared to share. By speaking up, you're actually kind of creating a movement. And that's what I love about Glow Club. And Kylie talked about visiting Glow Clubs in Vietnam, getting to see the power of, right, sitting in community with friends, even sitting in community on this, on this webinar, right? It just gives us strength to hear other people. It happens all across your life, right? Oh, I'm not alone. You felt that too. You experienced that too, right? When we share, it gives permission to others to do it, and it really gives us more confidence. So I think that's my biggest tip for making your voice heard is find your community and make sure you speak up in it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Laura. Like finding your community, finding like-minded people who's going to support in you, believe in you. And I just wanted to read through very quickly. This is kind of like impromptu, but since we're talking about actionable tips and practical things, in the bonus chapter, there is 14 tips to share your message with courage, clarity, and compassion. So I'm just going to run through very quickly and for you to see what resonates with you the most today that you can take on as a challenge. So the first is Encourage Big Dreams by Anu. Second is Engage Men as Allies in Gender Equality. That's by Gerardo. Tell Yourself the Truth. I think we've heard this a couple of times. Tell Yourself the Truth by Jenny. Find Brave Spaces for Your Story. That's by Joy. So I guess this is a message from Joy. Find brave spaces that you can share your story. And then the last one that I am going to read, you can always read more in the book, is, okay, thank you, sweetheart. I have my little one, Rehan, trying to feed me to eat stuff because it is lunchtime. So the last one that I am going to share is Express Love in Everyday Moments by Dr. Michelle Goodwin. I think this is so beautiful. Express love in everyday moments. And in her chapter, Dr. Goodwin shares about how her grandmother taught her about reading and how she expresses love. So show love in everyday moments. So, and Kylie, as well as Crystal's highlighted that this book is the epitome of what Global Girls Glow is about in a tangible format, something you can hold, something you can smell, something you can sleep with, something can you always take with you as hopefully something to guide you on when things gets tough, or something for you to find hope and inspiration on. And we are coming on to the end, but before that, I wanted to share a couple of things that have been shared here. Kylie says, use your voice even if it shakes. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Do it scared. Love this. So brilliant. And Samantha said, I don't need to wait for permission to use my voice. Exactly. You do not need to wait for permission to share your voice. You have all the permission in the world, and the permission starts from yourself by giving yourself the permission to share your voice. So as we are wrapping up today's session, and before we go, I want to pass it back to Kelsey. She has a very special message to share with everybody.
Hi, everybody. First, Jada, you're exceptional. To see someone your age speak the way you do and have just a heart, and you do it with such ease, it's hard for people that are old like us to do it. And we've been doing it a long time. So congratulations for whatever you've been working on. It's very, it's inspiring. You're doing great. So I just wanted to say that. And thank you guys for getting me involved in this. This was because of Laura. We obviously live in community where we live. And I know she was doing great things, but I don't think I understood the depth of what you all were doing here at this in this program. And I have to say, as an author, we were so busy focused on what we were writing and trying to get a good book put out and trying to get our story to be clear and follow all the rules, that it wasn't until a couple weeks ago when I had a meeting with Milton and Crystal and Laura that I really got to understand what we're doing this for. It's not just to have a great book, but it's a book that's going to change girls' lives. So I think it's important that we all have done this, and now is when it really matters to do something big. And I honestly didn't know what the financial side of it was until I met them. And I swear I thought it would be like $2,000 a year per girl or something, because these girls were going to be mentored and helped for a whole year. And when they said $200, I was like, hold on a minute. Like, that's amazing. That is, if you think about it, it's like 54 cents a day. I mean, 54 cents a day. This is crazy. So I just want to kind of challenge everybody, which I'm going to do the same, but to really think about if $200 is something that we can change a girl's life. It would be great if everybody that was an author didn't just share their story, but also helps with getting these girls to a place where they can come like Jada and sit here on a Zoom and speak to us. So I also just I'm going to push it and say for like $2.18 a day, you could do four girls, which I think would be phenomenal. Because then you can go to bed at night being like, there's 4 people that are getting great things because of almost a Starbucks each day. So if anybody goes to Starbucks every day, I'm certain they're spending more than they would to sponsor 4 girls. So I'm going to push on that. I'm going to obviously 4 girls is what I'm going to do this year right now, but I look forward to anybody that else wants to kind of get in the game, not just in writing this, but in financially supporting people like Jada. I say, I don't know what you say, Laura. Yes, do something.
I wrote, I'm in.
I'm in. So think about it, but don't think about it too long, because I do think money is spiritual. So whatever you give out comes back 100 times. So you're giving a gift to yourself also. But I look forward to meeting some of the other girls. But Jada, it's great to meet you. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that could use this help. So do I have anything else? No, I just think what you guys have done is great. It's awesome.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. And Jada, like, huge acknowledgement to you. I think when I was 16, your age, which, I'm only 20, plus minus a few years, but I was at your age, I just literally could not speak because it isn't in my culture to speak, let alone speak in front of people. So thank you so much for your courage, for bravery, for practicing what courage and bravery and being unshakable and unstoppable looks like. And this is what Global Schools Close stand for, is not for us, but for the rippling impact that it can have to generations and through the years. And like Kelsey was saying, $200, it is going to help sponsor 1 girl for the entire year, for them to have mentorship program, to be just like Jada, Huang, and Lulu, to bravely share their voices in whatever capacity they can have, to shed their skin, just like Huang says, to shed her shell and put herself out there to advocate for so many people. So thank you so much for your help and your support, and make sure that at least buy the book to start off with for $1.99 for the Kindle, and then buy the paperback when it comes out really soon to continue your support, and then share the word and sponsor a girl if you can. So that would be really, really helpful. And thank you so much to Kylie, Crystal, and Laura. It really came through this project because of a dream, because of a voice, because of actions, consistent actions being taken. And Crystal said, oh, she probably doesn't know what she's going to get herself into. I mean, I've done this multiple times over the years, but the coolest part that I wasn't expecting is working with a heart-based organization that not only filters and that not only supports my vision of what I want the world to be like for my kids, but also for thousands of girls around the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's end with this. Let's end with fill in the blanks. And it is Voices for Impact is, for those of you who are watching us and tuning in as the part of our community, go ahead and type in the chat. Voices for Impact is, put it in the chat and we'll read it in a moment, but I want to go to Kylie really quickly. Kylie, Voices for Impact is?
Powerful.
Powerful. Crystal, Voices for Impact is?
World changing.
World changing. Laura, Voices for Impact is?
Inspiring vulnerability.
Inspiring vulnerability. Jada, Voices for Impact is?
Sensational.
Oh, sensational. That is fabulous. Kylie, what Voices for Impact is?
A game changer.
Game changer. Geraldo, Voices for Impact is?
Increíble.
Incredible.
The best.
The best. Love it. Okay, Anu, Voices for Impact is?
Life-changing.
Life-changing. Kelsey, Voices for Impact is?
New Horizons.
New Horizon. And for me, Voices for Impact is unstoppable. So this is just the beginning for many years to come, for many incredible projects that Global Girls Glow is curating, producing, engaging for the communities. And it takes people like you and me to be part of it, to help, to support, to be a vessel for the dreams and manifestation to come through, whether it's for a girl like Huong or Jada, or if it's for our own daughters. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. And let's touch base with let's touch base with Laura. Do we have anything else before we wrap up for today's session? Because I know Jada has to go back to class.
No, I'm just so grateful for everybody for joining and for everybody who wants to support by buying the book, sponsoring a girl, for girls. Any amount of support is so appreciated, and really does make a tremendous impact. So thank you all.
Brilliant. And if you can, those of you who are here, go ahead and share or make an announcement on your social media that Voices for Impact book is out today. So make sure you grab a copy of the Kindle version for $1.99, and the paperback is coming really soon. And at least, you know, that's something that you can do to help kick off the momentum and, more importantly, spread some hope and joy to people. I have an essential oil today that I just like sprinkle some joy in me earlier on to spread out the sprinkle magic. So thank you so much. And thank you, Kylie, for the vision, for the courage, for the bravery, for being a trailblazer on what's possible for young girls and women. So thank you, everybody. Grab the book. And yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you all.
Thank you.